Tom Hayes became the public face of one of the biggest financial scandals in recent history: the manipulation of the London Interbank Offered Rate, LIBOR, often called the most important number in global finance. But what exactly was LIBOR, and why did it matter so much? LIBOR represented the average interest rate that major banks said they would pay to borrow unsecured funds from one another, a benchmark for everything from student loans to vast interest rate derivatives. It's estimated that more than $200 trillion in financial products were tied to USD LIBOR alone. So how could such a critical rate be bent by a single trader? It's because the system had a fundamental flaw. LIBOR wasn't based on actual trades. Each day, the British Bankers Association asked a panel of large banks to estimate the rate at which they thought they could borrow. After discarding the highest and lowest quarter of these estimates, the rest were averaged to produce the official LIBOR rate. It was essentially an honor system. Regulators assumed trimming outliers would make collusion nearly impossible, and that publishing each bank's submission at midday would discourage manipulation. Both assumptions failed. Even extreme estimates that were excluded still affected the final number by shifting which submissions made it into the average. Hayes immediately recognized this vulnerability. His further breakthrough was realizing that LIBOR submitters often relied on interdealer brokers for hints on what numbers to submit. Hayes recruited these brokers by offering extra commissions, sometimes funneled through wash trades. In return, they relayed his preferred rates to contacts at other panel banks. Piece by piece, he constructed a loose but effective network of brokers and traders who aligned their submissions with his positions. His influence became most visible during the chaos after Lehman Brothers collapsed. While global markets convulsed, Hayes pressured brokers to push yen LIBOR lower to protect his trades. By the end of the day, yen rates had fallen even as others surged. His downfall began in June 2010 when a Citigroup compliance officer flagged his attempts to influence submissions. And less than a year after joining the bank, Hayes was fired. Investigators uncovered a massive collection of emails and chat logs documenting Hayes's interactions with brokers and traders, an extensive digital blueprint of the entire scheme. As the truth unraveled, major banks worldwide were hit with billions of dollars in penalties. Hayes was eventually sentenced to 14 years in prison, later reduced to 11. He served 5.5 years and was released in January 2021. Then, in July 2025, a dramatic twist. The UK Supreme Court overturned his conviction, ruling that the trial judge had misdirected the jury and denied him a fair trial. The flawed instructions were legally inaccurate and unfair, requiring the verdict to be thrown out. So what do you think? Was Tom Hayes a mastermind, a scapegoat, or something in between?